Israel's war machine is now turning its sights on what it's called the last bastion of Hamas terrorists in Gaza. But it's also the very place more than 1 million Palestinian refugees have fled to, Rafah. Now those civilians in the southernmost city are being told they have to run for their lives again. Europe correspondent Lisette Raymer reports.
The streets, the homes, the people, the dreams of Gaza are being crushed every day. Even the vast tent cities of Rafah, where displaced families seek safety, are out of reach for some now. They left nothing for us, this man cries, homeless and hopeless and unsure where to turn next. More than 1 million people are crammed into the southern city. It has for months been the final place of refuge for fleeing Gazans, but now it is Israel's next target.
Victory is within reach. We're going to do it. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion, but we're going to do it, and in this I agree with the Americans, we're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave.
No details, though, even when pressed, on where they would go. Here is my child, only 2 months old. Where do we take him? This mother asks. We don't know if we should leave or stay. The Israeli military today released this footage of their current assault less than 10 kilometres away in the city of Khan Yunis. Hamas says turning that same firepower on Rafah would undermine any talks of hostage release and lead to tens of thousands of casualties, with 2 Israeli captives already allegedly killed by strikes in the past 4 days. Qatar has warned it will be a humanitarian catastrophe. Saudi Arabia has warned there will be serious repercussions. The UK, EU, UN and US have all warned of an impending disaster. But the chorus of global criticism has made little difference in this war. In London, Lisette Raymer, Newshub.
The Prime Minister says the New Zealand government is extremely concerned about military strikes on Rafah, and our Foreign Minister is in talks with the Israelis now to convey our position that they should not proceed with the operation. Political editor Jenna Lynch joins us now. Kia ora, Jenna. So did the Prime Minister condemn Israel's airstrikes on Rafah?
So Christopher Luxon came right up against the edge of condemning, but he said he had not yet been fully briefed on the situation. The Prime Minister did, though, issue what's possibly his strongest statement yet on the conflict, saying that New Zealand has extreme concern and that Israel has both a moral and legal obligation to ensure the safety of civilians. Take a listen.
There are 1.5 million Palestinians, as you know, sheltering in Rafah at the moment. We are extremely concerned about that, and our preference is that there would be a complete pause of hostilities, as you well know. We do not want them to proceed with operations in Rafah without ensuring the safety and support of civilians there. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs is talking to the Israeli government to convey that position very clearly, that our concerns is they do not proceed with operations in Rafah.
Now, the Prime Minister said that the only way forward for Israel was and I quote, proportionate, controlled, targeted, precise action, and that failure to do so undermined the long-term security of Israel. So over the next few days, as the briefings come flying in, as we hear more from our allies on the situation, you can probably expect those words to ramp up a bit more. On another note, the Foreign Minister has just posted to social media that he did meet with the Israeli ambassador to New Zealand today. He shared a photo and said that they discussed Hamas's October 7 attacks, developments on the ground in Israel and Gaza since, and how a lasting, peaceful outcome to the conflict may be found.
Political editor Jenna Lynch, tēnā koe.
And in some news just to hand on this, Israel has just announced that 2 hostages have been rescued from Rafah by a special forces operation. The 2 were flown to Tel Aviv hospital, having spent 128 days in captivity. They are a 60-year-old and a 70-year-old seized during the October 7th attack on a kibbutz. They are both said to be in good condition.